sound, none of this has ever been proven. It's all theoretical. String theory and its extra dimensions exist only on paper. Like so many of Stephen Hawking's own discoveries, there's no proof. But all of this might be about to change. And the earliest moments of the universe could soon be revealed. This is the CERN laboratory in Geneva, Switzerland, home of the Large Hadron Collider, the largest experiment ever built. Deep below ground, researchers hope to recreate the conditions that existed just after the Big Bang, to reveal how everything around us came into being. They hope to recreate a high-energy environment similar to the one that followed the instant of creation. It was the moment Stephen Hawking had been waiting for. The intention was to fire subatomic particles in opposite directions. Traveling almost 28 kilometers and accelerating to close to the speed of light, they were supposed to slam into each other with a force trillions of times more powerful than a conventional explosion. It was hoped that this high-energy collision would produce particles similar to those in the aftermath of the Big Bang, perhaps revealing the key ingredient of the universe and how they were made. But before the experiment could begin, part of the collider broke down. Until it's fixed, there will be no collisions or new insights into the moment of creation. It's back to string theory and pioneering thinkers like Stephen Hawking to ponder the ultimate mystery, the theory of everything. String theory predicts that we're surrounded by tiny extra dimensions. These extra dimensions trap gravity. If true, particles colliding in a small region could experience ultra-strong gravity. This could trigger matter to collapse in on itself into a mini black hole, exactly as Stephen Hawking predicted. That means, if the Large Hadron Collider is ever up and running, it could create mini black holes.
The black hole might actually grow, because over time, the black hole will pull material into itself. It could grab onto molecules in the atmosphere. So its mass will increase. I have no idea what will really happen in that case, but that means that the experiment does need to be controlled well.
Researchers estimate it's theoretically possible they could create mini black holes at the rate of 1 per second. Some people fear that just one black hole could swallow the Earth. It's a terrifying thought. If or when their machine is fixed, CERN scientists will put their faith in Stephen Hawking. He predicts that small black holes will evaporate. They should burn up almost instantly, lighting up like a Christmas tree.
They will produce little black holes, which will then radiate and decay and disappear according to what Stephen Hawking predicted many, many years ago. And that would be, of course, truly exciting.
If black holes do appear, it will reveal the secret of why gravity weakens after the Big Bang. Tiny extra dimensions in space.
If they found proof of extra dimensions, I would be completely staggered. It would be extraordinary, because we would have finally found that space had more than 3 dimensions, which is fundamental.
But thanks to the breakdown, the only black holes that have appeared so far are in the budget. Even when CERN can start up again, it may take years of study to find proof of extra dimensions and tiny black holes in the aftermath of a subatomic collision. Within half a century, Stephen Hawking desperately wants to live to see the culmination of his life's work. But he's still facing a battle against time.
There are grounds for cautious optimism that we may now be near the end of the search for the ultimate laws of nature, though much more work will be needed.
He's forging ahead and working on a refinement to the Big Bang theory itself. If the Big Bang happened once, could it have happened again? And again? And again. If so, could there be another universe beyond our own? Or a multiverse? It's another theory for Stephen Hawking and fellow scientists like astronomer Bernard Carr to consider.
I think Stephen will not be satisfied until he understands not just this universe, but any other universe out there.
Stephen Hawking believes we must think of our entire universe as being contained inside a bubble which is surrounded by other bubbles, each of which holds a whole other universe.
Maybe there is a whole multiverse of bubbles, of which our universe is just one. And we are just one tiny patch of one of those bubbles. Some bubbles are big, some bubbles are small.
Many small bubbles would appear and then disappear again. A few of the little bubbles, however, would grow to a certain size at which they are safe from recollapse.
It would mean that we exist in one of many bubbles that survived.
But if there are many, many bubbles, however low the probability of life, with millions and millions of bubbles, there's bound to be life and complexity somewhere.
It's an astonishing thought. If we do live in a multiverse that may contain other forms of life, can we ever hope to reach out to our neighbors?
It is very hard to see how one could travel from one universe to another. People have talked about the possibility of time travel or of wormholes that might connect different universes. So it is conceivable that it would be possible, but maybe that's optimistic.
So will we ever know if these other universes exist? And if so, what would they be like?
It may be a long time before we answer those questions. We may never answer all those questions, but it's the quest which is important. And Stephen is one of those people who's leading the quest.
Stephen Hawking has solved some of the biggest mysteries in cosmology and theoretical physics. He found the birthplace of the universe. He forced two opposing sides of modern science together to prove that it is possible to escape a black hole. An achievement he has mirrored in the battle with his disease.
The greatest thing I've learned from my dad is if you fall into a black hole, don't give up. You can get out of it again.